like the front end of my Tacoma. I'll admit it. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Pretty good here, and that's right. I've come to the conclusion that I don't like the front end of my Tacoma. You know, there's always been something just a little bit off with it, to be honest. You know, when I had the last lift done, I noticed it first off, and I guess I kind of tried to justify it to myself that, you know, eventually it would change. And what I'm talking about is the way it sits. It sits like this being the back, right? The front end is higher, and noticeably higher. It's about a half an inch higher. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, gee, it's a half an inch. Can you even see that? Strangely, you can. And I don't know if it's because of the way that the wheel well is angled and maybe it accentuates it a little bit, but you can definitely see it. And I gotta say, I was at the car dealer the other day. I was having service done, you know, the first one, the oil change, all that stuff. And there was an older gentleman there, a very nice guy, by the way, and he loved the truck, man. He walked up, he asked me if it was mine, and commented about the front end. And he said, oh, it's higher in the front end. He really liked that. He thought that was pretty slick. He couldn't say enough about it. But it's not really my thing, you know? I wasn't ever really looking to have a truck that sat like that. But let me tell you why it was okay in the beginning. You see, I kind of justified it to myself in that I was going to put an aftermarket bumper on the front. I've talked before, I contacted a company. I was actually trying to work a deal with them, to be quite honest, to do a video and, you know, give them some publicity, you know, the whole YouTube thing. So I sent them a couple of emails, and I sent them to that company under their affiliate program. You know, their marketing department, it's probably one person or maybe the owner who does everything else too. I don't know. But I never got a response. Nothing like, you know, forget about it. You're nuts. We're not interested in you. You're ugly. I don't know. I never got anything. They could have at least responded in some manner. If they weren't interested, they could have told me, right? So that kind of killed it for me a little bit. It kind of took the luster out of it because I was looking for that particular bumper. That's the one I really, really wanted. So as time goes by, I start to rethink that, you know, and thinking, gee, maybe I ought to revisit that, because the reason the front end was okay is because the front bumper, the new front bumper that I was going to get, had some weight to it. And I thought, well, maybe that will drop the front down just a little bit, even if it's a 1/4 inch. You know, now I'm only a 1/4 inch high, and I really doubt you can pick that up with the naked eye. But I thought that's okay. You know, as long as I can drop it a little bit in the front, I'd be golden. So I'm thinking I might revisit that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that particular bumper. I just think it looked really good on the front of the Tacomas that I'd seen it on in their literature. Oops, there was an orange light. Nobody else around, thank goodness. And no, I didn't go through it because I wasn't paying attention. I saw it and I chose to go through it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna broach that subject again. I think I'm gonna do some looking and see if I can't find something, and it may be the same one as the one I liked before, because again, that was the one that I really liked. So I'm going to look at some more, I guess. Going to run through that again and maybe get something. And I will tell you one other thing. You know, a reason that I've been hesitant about doing that to begin with is because you have to cut the bumper in the front, right? And I've, you know, in the mods that I've done to this truck so far, anything that I've done that's permanent like that I've had to alter, you can't see it. And you never will be able to see it. So I didn't have as big of a problem there. But once you whip out the Dremel or the cutting wheel or whatever the heck it is that you're going to use, you start to do some things that are a bit more permanent. You'll be able to see it, and obviously if I didn't get the angle or the cut right, then there would be a problem. And I've seen some guys do that, and then they try to cover it up with, you know, some kind of seal or maybe some kind of weather stripping or something around that section. And I will say that I think of the few that I've seen have an issue. This is a bumpy road, by the way. They did look okay. So there is a way to correct it, I suppose, even if you do something that maybe doesn't come out exactly right. So I'm not so worried, I guess, anymore. And I think since I've first looked at doing it, I've done a few more mods that are a little more intricate and probably gotten a little bit more confidence, I guess, in doing permanently visually changing or aesthetically changing mods to the truck. So that's what we're going to do. I think it's bumper time. I will say that the Tacoma looks awesome with an aftermarket bumper on it. There's plenty of people out there who've done it, and it really does make the truck look even meaner than it does anyway. And I think the truck's looking pretty mean now. What with the roll bar in the back, the lift, the bigger tires, I love the way that it looks. I love the stance, and I think the bumper would only add to that. Now, the question then becomes, well, if you do the front bumper, you got to do the back bumper. And I think you're right if you're thinking that. I would agree. I think you have to do the rear bumper if you do the front bumper. Now, the problem with that is right now I have a color-matched bumper on this truck, and that's one of the things that I really wanted with the Tacoma, right, is a color-matched bumper. And if I go aftermarket, it's probably going to be black. Not a big deal because I don't mind black. It certainly won't be chrome, I can tell you that. And I know a few folks out there are going to say, well, you could paint it. You could paint it blue. I don't think aftermarket bumpers look good painted to color match the truck. It's a personal preference. I've seen a handful of people that have done it, and you know, it's really not my thing. I don't think that's something I would want to do, nor do I think my painting skills are necessarily good enough to make that come out well. So there won't be any color matched aftermarket rear bumper, nor the front either. I mean, if I go aftermarket in the front, it's going to be black. Not a big deal. There's plenty of black on the truck, and I think it'll just make the truck look a little bit meaner. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, particularly if you've added an aftermarket front bumper to your Tacoma. I'd be very curious to see it. And if you would, I have a Facebook group. It's called Toyota Tacoma Mods and Rigs with RobMotive. There'll be a link to it. I think that little icon on my front page for the channel has the link to it too. But go there, join up, doesn't cost you anything, and post a picture of your truck. I'd love to see what you've got to give me some ideas for something myself. It'd be really cool, I think. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have a second channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check that out, and if you like it, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.